What is up, Eagles? Welcome back to another episode of the Bench Mob. I'm your host, Ian Lynch, and once again, I'm joined by.
Jake Henning.
All right, Jake, there are only approximately 18 games left in the season. You know what that means. We're talking playoffs today. We're each going to talk about our top five. So I'm going to kick it over to you to start with your top five teams for the East for the playoffs this year.
Yeah. So the East has been very competitive, especially at the top with Philly and Brooklyn, Milwaukee in there as well. But I'm gonna give Philly the edge. They've been playing some really good basketball, especially with the leading MVP candidate. Actually, maybe tied with Jokic. But Joel Embiid been such an amazing player this year. He's stayed healthy for the most part, thank God. But him and Ben Simmons, along with Tobias Harris, a couple of guys they brought in, Dwight Howard, Steph Curry, they've been able to click. They've been able to play well under new coach Doc Rivers. So they've been playing really well. The offense is clicking. They've been playing some really good defense. Ben Simmons is a great defender, so is Joel. So I think they're at the top right now. I have Brooklyn behind them. They're like right behind them. You know, Brooklyn's been playing really well. It's just, can all their stars be healthy? Can KD consistently play games? Can Kyrie consistently play games? Can these guys stay healthy? You know, a lot of these guys are injury prone. And James Harden, who really doesn't like to miss games, they got to give him credit for that. He's been out for a couple games with some, I think it was hamstring tightness or something like that. But that's going to be the MO of Brooklyn, is can they stay healthy? So that's the only reason I have them behind Phillies, just because a lot of their guys are injury prone. But right behind them, I have Milwaukee. Milwaukee's been steady all year. They were at the top in the beginning. Now they've bumped down to third in the East. So I'm going to keep them there. Giannis is still playing very well. He's still an MVP type player. It's just, we kind of thought they'd be at the top, especially with the acquisition of Drew Holiday. That was a big move for their defensive and offensive play. So I think I have them at third right now. I'm going to have Boston move back up to fourth. I think they get back up there. I don't think Atlanta's going to keep up this pace of basketball. I think they've been playing really well, but I think Boston's going to move up to four. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have really been playing well off each other. It's just getting those other guys involved, because that's what they really need, is to get those other guys involved when, you know, maybe Jason or Jaylen aren't on during those games. So I have them at four, and it's kicking in the five spot. I think that the Heat are going to click at the end of the season. They're going to get their momentum. They're going to get it going, as like they like to do at the last second. You know, they've had a lot of injuries. Goran's been injured. Jimmy's been injured for some time. They just got Victor Oladipo. Now he's injured again. So they've had a lot of injuries. They haven't been able to click as a rotation. They haven't had their set rotation that they've been able to play with. So I think once they get those guys set in and they all start to play together, I think that they'll start winning some games, and that's why I have them at the five spot.
Wow, we almost finished like identical. I had 76ers as number one as well. Just what you mentioned, Embiid, Simmons have been playing incredibly well lately, and so has their supporting cast, followed by the Nets. When I put them as two as well, my whole big concern was injuries as well. For the majority of the season, Durant, Harden, and Irving haven't been on the court at the same at the same time. So are they all going to be able to be healthy? And that is yet to be seen. Then I have the Bucks in third as well. I actually kept Atlanta in fourth. I don't know, just something about this new look Atlanta after the firing of their head coach. They've looked really, really good and different, and I think they're starting to find their identity as a team, and they found it right at the right time. So I do have the Hawks staying in the fourth spot, and then I have the Celtics at five. I was kind of surprised if you're picking in the Heat moving up to the top five. I mean, obviously, like, this may not be known, but I am a huge Miami Heat fan. So, I mean, even being a fan, I was a little surprised by that. It's just, I don't know, these past few games are making it really hard to see them being in the top five. But what they do have going for them is the East has been very, very close. It changes every single night almost with the playoff seeding. So they do have that going for them, and if they are able to get it to click like you think they will, then I can for sure see them being in the top 5. It's just as of right now, I see the Celtics hanging on to that 5th spot. Moving over to the West, however, I have the Phoenix Suns at number 1. They've been on a roll lately. Chris Paul has been insane. He looks like he's 26 again. I feel like this is probably one of his best years he's had in the league, honestly. And the impact he's been able to have on this young Suns team has been insane. And then Devin Booker has been able to play off extremely well off of Paul, so bringing him in was huge, I feel. At number 2, I have the Jazz, followed by the Clippers at number 3. I have the Mavs moving into the 4th seed. I know right now Denver currently sits there, but they just lost Jamal Murray. But in their last game against the Heat, they showed it wasn't that big of a deal. They managed to, I think they beat us by 20, roughly. It might have been a little closer, but I know at points they were up by a lot. I just don't think they're going to be able to play roughly 18 more games at that level without Jamal Murray. That injury was a huge blow to them. But so I see the Mavs swooping in, taking that spot. They've looked really well lately. They're 7-3, I believe, out of their last 10 games. Luka has looked really good. The team's clicking, so I have them sneaking in. I have the Lakers being in 5th because right now LeBron's out, AD's out. A bunch of people are coming in and out with injuries. I know Drummond was hurt for a little bit. I believe he's back to playing now, but they haven't been able to have a consistent groove. And I just don't think without LeBron and AD, they're going to be in the very competitive and hard West. I don't think they're going to be able to move much more with only 18 games left.
Yeah, I mean, mine is vaguely similar to that. Only I just have Utah at the top. I just think that they've been playing incredible basketball right now. Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, Mike Conley. They've all been clicking, and this is the Jazz team that we all thought that they were going to be the last 2 years, where they had first round exits, but the offense is finally clicking and they're playing as a team. So I think they stay in the first seed for the rest of the season. But I really love this Phoenix Suns team. They're so exciting to watch. And like you said, Chris Paul, it's like he's 26 again. The fact that Chris Paul has not been talked about more as an MVP candidate is unreal, because last year he did it with Oklahoma City, where they were an all right team. He came in, they weren't supposed to be good at all. They unloaded a lot of guys. Russell Westbrook was traded. Chris Paul came in and took them to the playoffs and almost beat the Rockets in a 7-game series. So him, Devin Booker, Jay Crowder, a little bit of love lost with Jay Crowder, but I really love this Phoenix team. So I think they stay at 2, right behind the Jazz. I have the Clippers staying in 3 as well. They're actually on a 6-game winning streak with Rondo after they acquired him from Atlanta. They continue to play well. It's just, those guys staying healthy, and Kawhi and PG continuing to play at a good pace. I actually have, I'm going to have Dallas move up to the 4 slot. I think, like you said, with Denver being hurt with Jamal Murray, that's a big scoring threat right there. And yes, they played well against the Heat last night, but the Heat also didn't play very well. So I think that hurts them a little bit. I think Dallas moves up to the 4 slot with the Lakers hurt and Portland still being a little bit of a questionable team right now. But I think Denver still stays in the top 5. I think they slot down to 5. And I actually have the Lakers moving to 6 right now, because who knows, questionable with LeBron coming back, AD, Drummond's still getting into the offense, and the guys that they have running the offense right now are a little questionable with Kyle Kuzma. He's an inconsistent player. So that's how I have it the West shaping out right now.
For sure, yeah. Like you mentioned, it's coming down to consistency in which lineups are going to be able to be fully healthy come playoff time, which is when every team wants to be healthy. So we'll see. Next up, we're gonna mix it up this week. We're gonna start with player of the week this time. I had the player again. Um, so this guy has been playing off the charts this month. I picked Steph Curry for the month of April. His numbers have been absolutely insane. It's like someone's playing 2K. He's averaging 39.9 points per game, 6.9 assists per game, 57% shooting, 50% from three, 6.7 threes per game. And then on top of that, in his last 3 games, which they've all won with him playing, he had 42 points shooting and 11 for 16 for 3, 53 points, 10 for 18 for 3, and 38 points, 8 for 15 from 3. Just looking at those numbers, I don't see how I could have picked anyone else. But if you care to agree or disagree, go ahead.
No, I mean, look, we're looking at the greatest shooter alive in Steph Curry. Possibly one of the greatest scorers alive. And he's just such an influential player of our time. It's just amazing to watch. And like you said, in his last 3 games, he's had 38, 53, and 42. In the last 6 games, he hasn't scored below 30 points, which is unreal. And he also just became the Warriors' leading scorer of all time, passing Wilt Chamberlain. So that's something to celebrate. But yeah, I mean, Steph's been off the charts, really carrying the Golden State team that hasn't really clicked all season. But yeah, you got to give credit to Steph. You know, he stays focused. He doesn't worry about, you know, what everybody else says about the team and then not clicking. He just goes out there and leaves it all on the court and just shoots the lights out. So got to give it to him.
Yeah, for sure. And it's crazy to think about as well, just how huge his impact is. You talked about some of the other guys with the team, how people have been saying they haven't been inconsistent, or they've been inconsistent, which is true. The last couple of games that Steph didn't play, they got blown out by 20. He comes back, he scores like 53, like it's nothing, and they win. And they've won the last 3 games that he's played. So you can't ignore the impact that he has to this team. Moving forward for Rookie of the Week, you had that again this time. Tell the viewers who was your pick and why.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to go with the guy that we picked last week, Anthony Edwards. He's just continued to step up his play throughout the season and really just coming to his own as a player. He's averaging 18.1 points per game. He's shooting 39% from 3, which is really crazy to think about, because when you hear those numbers, you're thinking about some guy, a star in the league, a guy who's been in the league for a couple of years, who's really, a superstar on his team. And Anthony Edwards has just been that for the Timberwolves. You see why they picked him first. And he's just been incredible for this team. And I think that he'll only get better with the amount of games they play. And so, yeah, that's why I have him as my Rookie of the Week again.
Yeah, for sure. He's been playing lights out. I actually have a fun little question I want to throw at you. Do you think, obviously LaMelo Ball is out. He's been out. But do you think he had enough to claim Rookie of the Year, or do you think Edwards is going to be able to take that from with the extra games, or do you think they're going to take that into account when comparing the two? Or even Wiseman, he's been playing very well as well. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, I think like you said, Wiseman has had a great year. Unfortunately, he's out for the season. He just had knee surgery. But I think it's going to come down to how Anthony Edwards plays for the rest of the season. LaMelo had such a great year, but did he play enough to claim that crown? And I think if Anthony Edwards continues his play, and I think he will, I think they're going to have to give it to Anthony Edwards. I don't think LaMelo played enough, even though he did play extremely well. I just don't think that he had enough games under his belt to get that award.
No, yeah, I agree. I just wanted to throw that out there as a fun way to end this episode. But
yeah, for sure.
Everyone, once again, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.